Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, dear listeners. This is Comeza Radio Africa, the voice of Comeza, the organization everybody wants to be associated with. The mind, the journey, the destiny. We apply our mind to the journey that takes us to our destiny. That is our philosophy. It is about the plugged and active mind, a sharing mind, futuristic mind, and inquiring mind. The journey is about being enthusiastic about promotion of our ideas, giving our ideas as we learn, retaining and investing our earnings and our learnings, searching for new opportunities on the way, achieving the destiny that ensures productivity and profitability at individual and organizational level, the destiny that is socially responsible in caring for each other, guaranteeing growth and sustainability, and ensuring renewal and survival. So what does the radio do? We inform and entertain. We develop and educate. We empower and support. We associate and network. That's the idea. We are a business and professional management services 24/7 internet streaming radio station. We broadcast both music and talk shows. Our objective is to use the African storytelling and Lekgotla conversation methodology in offering career coaching, education and learning guidance, continuous professional development, enterprise and entrepreneurship development, and connecting supply to demand. Our talk shows aim to affirm and support business professionals and entrepreneurs in their personal and professional journey of bringing difference to the world. My name is Sam Zima. I am the CEO and Executive Business Coach at Comeza GOC International. You may visit our website at www.comeza-goc.com. The principle that guides our talks are the same principles that guide our organization, and they are win-win approach, holistic mindset, competency development, demanding accountability, ethical inclusive practice, and progressive transformation practice. You're welcome to join the membership of Comeza Friends and Supporters Club NPO so that you can be part of this initiative of empowering and supporting entrepreneurs and professionals in bettering our world. That can be done online at www.comezaclub.africa. You may wish to send us email at callcenter@comeza-goc.com. Let me take time to welcome my guest, my sister, Esme Margi Witbooi. How are you, Esme?
Hi, Sam. I am absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining me. You might be surprised why I'm calling you by your full names today.
It sounded a little.
It's because today we're going to make sure that this well of knowledge about Esme is full and we drink it to the full satisfaction.
Wow, that sounds very exciting. Thank you.
I suspect that Margi has something to do with auntie somebody in the Witbooi family.
It's my mother's name.
I thought as much. So you'll tell us more about that. As coaches, you and I, we must first check in. How are we doing? Body, mind, and soul, spirit, balanced? Are we doing well in terms of body, mind, and spirit?
Yes, absolutely. I'm fantastic. I am brilliant. My soul is in the right place. Yeah. I constantly make sure I feed that on a daily basis.
Yes.
Mind, I'm in a good state of mind. based on what I do on a daily basis. And yes, my physiology, my body, yes, feels good, could be better.
Yeah, that's great. And you are occupying your mind with great progressive thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. I read daily. I watch very inspiring, informational videos about my industry.
Yes.
I read about what others are doing, so it keeps the person quite very inspired, engaged, and motivated.
And how is your mindful practice going? Mindfulness and meditation practice going?
Mindfulness and meditation practice, I do that on a daily basis. I do mindfulness and meditation mostly on the Word of God. That's my source of strength.
Yes.
And that I do with worship on a daily basis, meditating on scriptures. That's my sort of meditation. I love to exercise, to take long walks in nature and do my thinking.
Lovely. It's good to know that you are very intentional about it because it doesn't happen on its own, that body-mind-spirit balance is achieved.
It's very, very important. Most of our resources are located in our mental and emotional capacity. So that is the area we really have to feed on a daily basis.
Same way as we feed our body with food.
Yes. Same way. Perfect.
Lovely. And today is a different talk. Last time we were talking about the others in the industry. Today we're going to talk about ourselves. How is that?
Yes, very interesting. Coaches are not very good to talk about themselves. We're always the listeners.
Yes.
In the conversation. So when a coach gets to have to speak about themselves, they start to get uncomfortable, like, it's just weird for us.
Yeah, it's like a medical doctor having to visit another medical doctor and be asked, where is the pain coming from?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Look, it's very important that we give the opportunity to those who are being coached by Esme out there to know this person that they always call coach. So today they're going to know who the coach is. Coach Esme.
Coach Esme, yes. I love that.
Yeah.
Coach Esme.
Yes, beautiful. And we divided our conversation into 4 chapters or 4 episodes, and there is an intention for that. The first episode is about your early childhood, primary school education, secondary school education, and high school education. There is a well of knowledge and information and insights there, and when we take you back there and then bring you back to where we are, we do find ourselves being able to understand why Esme has become who she is. That's our foundation. So we'll spend some time on that part. And then the next part, we then take you down the memory lane to the times when you went to the tertiary education, whatever type of tertiary education it was. Not everybody followed the conventional way of going to the college or university, but there is some sort of post-high school learning and development journey that you must have gone through, either on the job or part-time or combination. And there we are interested in knowing how you transitioned from the previous level to that level and what challenges you went through and what lessons you can share with us. Yeah, and then after that we'll take you to the time when you entered the world of work, which is always the most difficult transition for many people, and that's where many of us fail and many people can benefit from our mistakes or our successes. So how you transition into corporate world, how it was in the corporate world, and what adjustment you had to do And then the last one then is where you are nowadays professional that is running your own practice. And that is also a very difficult transition, and it has its own dynamics. So that will conclude our talk, and you will be the center, and I will just be your speaking partner and facilitating conversations. How is that?
Oh, no, that sounds like NLP, timeline therapy. Let's go back in time, in the past, in the present.
Absolutely, because that absolutely, and that is that is what has made you, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm very excited. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. So we are very intentional about one important level of our development, which is the early childhood development. And for that matter, we do have an agency that we are putting together that we have already sort of like conceptualized, because we realize that is one level of our education and development that we never take it serious. We think, you just go to the kindergarten and you wind time until you are ready to go to school. But It's actually a foundational level. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I always ask those of you who have been to a crash to say, because I never had the opportunity of going to crash. The first time I saw a teacher was when I went to do Dom A.
Really?
Yeah, so you need to tell us. But before you tell us that story, just tell us a little bit full names, where you grew up, where were you born, what did you grow up doing, starting with your kindergarten, if you ever went to kindergarten, and who was madam mistress, or what do you call them in the kindergarten? Madam, who was your madam at kindergarten? Let's take it from there.
I wasn't privileged for kindergarten. I went to school very early at the age of 5.
I see.
Yes, at the age of 5, I already went to school, and from the age of 5, I was accepted at school. I was quite a very energetic, very excited little young lady.
And they could see that you don't need to go through kindergarten, go straight to...
Yes. I love the conversations of the elders. I always used to like to be friends with the teenagers older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about your full names, the Witboois. Who are they? Where are they located? I know you're from Western Cape, but tell us more the roots and your origin.
Yes, I grew up in Cape Town. My parents are from Cape Town, and we located there in the Western Cape, and from the Cape Flats, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Very, very challenging area that I was being brought up. If you know the Cape Flats, Sam, I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
I know the story of the Cape Flats.
It's a story
from reading and hearing other people talking about it.
Yes,
but that is the story I'm interested in from your perspective. How did that story shape you growing up in the Witbooi family? And maybe tell us a little bit more about your family.
Yes, and my family was very Christian. I grew up in a faith-based Christian home, and that for me was one of the most profound experiences and principles that was embedded in me, and that made a very huge difference to the Cape Flats and its challenges that I grew up in. Yes.
And how many siblings do you have?
Yes, I grew up in a shack with my mother and my two siblings at that time. We all living in one room.
Sure. My goodness.
I used to study with no electricity. I used to study with a candlelight. Yes, and I was a straight A student with a candlelight.
Sure. So you are only 3 girls.
No, one girl and 2 boys. The other boy came in much later. Yeah.
But all of you growing in this one shack.
Yes.
It's I've interviewed that Lawrence Kgege, who also grew up in a shack in Everton. It is unimaginable for some of us. I mean, I grew up in a rural Spokane, poor, but we always had a lapa with round doubles, and so the space was not an issue. But it's unimaginable in a shack how your days are like, and what are the principles and disciplines that you grow by.
Yes, absolutely, and growing up as a child in that situation, it can either make you or break you. And I think one of the strongest things is, that's why I'm a coach, I think, today. Since childhood, I had this thing of a mindset that I just used to not allow my situation to define who I am. I believe that this is not my destiny. I can create it. I can get out of the situation. I'm not going to live like this, even though there was no factual evidence that it was possible.
Yeah. You just had hope.
I just had this unwavering faith that I'm going to get out of here. This ain't working. This is not working for me. And that was my driving. That was my drive to.
But you grew being pleasant child.
So come again, sorry?
Did you grow being a pleasant child?
Very pleasant, very happy every day. And that was the faith-based influence. So that's why that faith-based influence in those principles of God that I was being brought up belief kept me going. It was my source of strength, my source of hope, the belief system of faith. That faith belief system was my source of strength every day, that this is just a season and there's a possibility, even though there's no evidence showing that it could be. Yeah. And so that was a fundamental core of my upbringing, and it colored my life. I was a very disciplined child, even though there was gangsterism, violence. You go out the door, there's nothing right that you see.
Yeah, sure.
Nothing right. No role models. There's just nothing right. So how do you tell a child growing up in that situation that you can be a millionaire one day? It's like almost impossible to believe when there's nothing in your background or in your circumstances that show that this is possible. And I think that was probably the driving tool that led me now in the future to go into NLP, in reprogramming your mind and stuff. So,
one thing very common among the black communities of South Africa that was as a result of apartheid neglect or intentional neglect is that communities were allowed to disintegrate, and yet when you look around, people resolved to get out of those situations, and we have so many strong characters, ourselves included, that come out of this, and somehow the system failed actually to achieve what it intended to achieve. Instead, for some of us, it made very strong characters out of us.
It did. No, it really did. It makes you resilient. And it's very few that can get out of a situation when there is no support in your community or in your environment that really helps you, to develop a mindset in dealing with those kind of challenges. Very, very few, Sam. Very few.
What would you say are the values that your parents instilled on you guys in the midst of all that misery? That today you look back and say, thank you very much. That made me.
Yes, even though I grew up with my godparents and they passed on now, even though we grew up poor, the most important treasure that they've ever introduced to me was Christ, Jesus Christ. That for me was fundamental principles. And our lives were based upon those principles. And those principles still works for me today. And those principles, of love your neighbor as you love yourself, love the Lord your God with all your heart. And that for me, those ethical principles colors my whole life, because it influenced the way I interact with people, with empathy, with respect, with grace, with kindness, and principles like never where they come from or what their circumstances are. I have to treat others with love and respect. Those kind of principles really made a huge difference in my life and has carried me up until now in my interaction with people. I look back and say, thanks for teaching me discipline. Discipline was a very fundamental factor, but my parents didn't have to do a lot of talking with me. I was quite an obedient child to authority.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they say, I do. Whatever this teacher says, I do. Very obedient. I wasn't very rebellious child wanting to do the naughty things on the street and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
And what was the reason for you to grow up with your godparents? What happened to your biological parents?
My mom got me when I was very young, so she had no idea. I think probably 20.
Yes.
And so my godparents, I grew up with them, because they were a bit more older and they just wanted to have a child. And that's how I ended up with my godparents.
Mm-hmm. And is your mom still around now?
Yes, absolutely.
And healthy, strong?
Healthy, strong, woman of God. Yeah, I speak to her daily.
And Dad?
Yes, absolutely. He's still alive.
Yeah. Okay.
He's still alive. And they've been married now for 30 years, I think.
Wow. Beautiful. And what about your siblings? What are they busy with at the moment?
They are there. My brother is working as an administrator. My younger brother is completing his matric while he's working. Mm-hmm. And my sister's just she was studying business and then left it, and then now probably deciding going back to that. She's married and got kids.
Wow.
And she's younger than me.
Yeah. It's beautiful to still have the family complete and people give each other surprise calls and checking on each other, and you're all living your independent lives. That's wonderful. And you're stuck here in Gauteng and they are still in the Western Cape.
Absolutely correct.
I'm not surprised that you will be the one that will be going away, because I know a bit about your story, which you're still gonna tell. And so, how was it at school? How did you perform? In your high school studies.
There were three places that was the most important in my life, in my childhood. Number one was school.
Yes.
Since all my school life, there was not a day where I was ever absent from school. This is primary and high school. Wow. There's no record of me ever not being at school.
You loved school.
I loved school. I used to be the first person at school. Oh my God.
That's beautiful.
I loved learning. I was excited to learn. I was always competing with myself, and I wanted to be the most outstanding student. So each and every year, I get the highest marks for every test. Wow. I refused to be second best.
Where is that coming from?
I think because I needed to prove to myself. I think if you're taking me now back and asking me such a deep question, I needed to prove to myself that I am worth it, I think, in some way. Because when I get these grades, I feel proud. I feel a sense of achievement. Because it was very important for me, because in our growing up in our community, you don't get a lot of appreciation and praise, So I did it so that I can feel praised and feel like I'm worth something. I think maybe it came from there, why I was so driven and motivated to have the best marks and to.
But did you participate in extramural activities at school?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah? Yes, I was part of almost everything.
Yes, and
I wanted to be the best also at that. I was never at home. So Mondays after school, it's volleyball. I play volleyball for the school. Tuesdays And Thursdays were the 2 netball days. Netball was very big in my days.
Yeah.
And then Wednesdays was the school hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And then just Fridays was like, going home early from school and stuff. So, yeah, I was involved and I was part of the school choir.
Wow.
And I was part of the school's drama team. I was involved in everything. I was part of the community choir.
So you have always been this hyper.
I was always hyper, but I needed that distraction away from the community where I was coming from, with the gangsterism, the violence, the killing, the drugs, abuse. So if I go to school and I'm occupied at school, when I come back home, I just eat and I do my homework and I sleep. So I escape all of that. It was my way of escapism.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and it worked.
It worked for you.
It worked for me.
And your childhood years just flew past like nothing.
Yes, I wish I could encourage many young people to do exactly that, to help them escape from, you can't, you don't have a choice what you are birthed into, but you do have a choice as what am I going to do about it? Am I going to blame my parents and not try and make a difference? I'm going to look like my Cape Flats community with nothing good going on, or what am I going to do about it? So that was what I'm going to do about it, to just delete. So it's almost like I never even saw that Cape Flats. I just cancel it out of my subconscious. I don't live in this world. I'm not from this world. So I always lived there, but I was never from there.
Wow.
I was like a foreigner.
Wow.
And I spoke like a foreigner as well. They used to laugh at me. I was living in a dream world of... It was crazy. I was like a foreigner because I was just not a part of that whole destructive behavior. I escaped it by occupying myself.
Your story is very much like that of Dr. Lawrence Gege. I even ended up nicknaming him the Angel of Everton, because he just pulled himself out of the situation that everybody else could not get out of. So it could only be your angels as well.
Yes.
That came and say, listen, you are born out of here, but you are not from here. We're going to take you out of here. For now, keep yourself busy until we are ready for you.
Yes. So I did it because I was saying to myself that this whole mess in this community, that's not who you are. Because the Word of God was teaching me those principles that was installed in me by my parents. I am worth it. I am loved. I am, all of those things. And when I occupy myself, I feel those principles. I feel connected to those principles. Yes, beautiful. That I'm not like that.
So what subjects did you do in your grade 12?
Sure, you're taking me way back. I think I did tourism and history. I was very interested in history, and I did biology as well. Obviously, English and Afrikaans was a math language.
Yes,
and history, biology, and I was very interested in religious studies as well. I wanted to study more about different kinds of religions and so on.
Wow, beautiful. And you did well?
I did absolutely brilliantly well, because I was just driven to be the top student.
Wonderful. Let's hold it there. When we come back, I want to know, after your grade 12, what then? We'll be back.
Okay.
Sure.